Alright, this is going to be my update for revising this artifact. This will be the Boon Lake level revision. I kind of touched on it in the screencast part of the milestone one, to prove I knew how to use OBS. But so this is the original one I made for environment design, GRA 311 I think it was. Um, and so it's huge. Like, it's ginormous. I originally I wanted to try to make something that I could use with level streaming and stuff like that, but I don't want to do that yet. Um, and I messed with like atmospheric fog effects and a few other things as part of the class because it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. Like, I thought it was going to be designing the level, designing the environment, the flow through the environment, and stuff like that. But it turned out that I had to make little 3D models of different things to use. Like, this is my one of my artifacts or the things I made, the buoy for the lake, and the other one I made that I used in the level is are these crates, right? Um, I created the textures and the UVs and all that stuff for the crates, and they're pretty cool little props, right? I made these buildings too, but these are just the simplest little buildings I could possibly make just to satisfy the assignment because I'm not a good 3D modeler. I'm just not. I can't make these large buildings and make them where you can walk into them and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how. Um, I didn't take any game art classes. I wasn't here for a game art degree. It's for programming and design, and that's what I do. But I did fail on the scope of the level. The level is absolutely just ridiculously huge, right? It's too big. So again, part of my revision was I wanted to remake the level a more manageable size. So that it would flow better, that the player could find their way through it easier. Um, and I knew it was too big. That's why I concentrated just on fleshing out this section. And I knew it was also this area is just too big because I just started filling it with trees and random stuff, which just isn't good. It's just filler to fill the space, and it still takes the character way too long to walk from the main part of the base and explore these other buildings, and then what little bit I wanted to have in the marsh here, and stuff like that. But I do like the I created this fog effect here around. Let me see. I'll run over here so you can see it. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it does the sun rays through the fog too, and like if it's a large enough piece, the character actually displaces it and it swirls around them and stuff like that. But you can see it moves and flows around. It's pretty cool, and it's a placeable object. It's just an emitter that the character collision interacts with it and displaces it back and forth, and then it moves back. Which it's a pretty neat effect, and it works pretty well. And then these crates, I thought these turned out okay. I mean, they're simple little low poly game assets, and I did okay at it. The buildings, however, not so much. The building is I created it in Unreal and then exported the UV and created put glass in the windows and stuff, or in the holes up there for windows, and added lighting so it glowed at night and stuff like that. They're not very good. They're just to satisfy the assignment, and I didn't get the best grades on the buildings, but everything else was done well enough to give me a decent grade on the final. So I'm okay with it. But it's too big. So we're revising it. And here is the new landscape. As you can see, it's about half the size, maybe. Um, it's much better scale. And all I'm doing is the water features are there because they're gonna the character's not gonna be able to swim. Well, I can't make them swim. I can probably make them swim. And the marshes are here because these are environmental hazards. And then all the trees and the dark texture for the ground just delineate the playable area for the character. So there's going to be a building here and some props. There's going to be a building here and some props. This is to allow player access to the marsh because there'll be objectives that show up out here occasionally. But it also those gas clouds were created to make hazards for the marsh, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make that bigger without completely tanking performance. But that's definitely a game artist's job, and I haven't been able to get it working right. But this way, the level flows. So like this is like a military base area. There'll be a gate here, military base, and this will be a back path. This is a residential little neighborhood. There's a few lake homes here and some up on the hill. There's a couple of lake homes along this area. There's a cemetery here. Over here is a like an old like a general store, country store. This is a farm area, and there's roads and stuff. I'm gonna put my concept drawing in the zip file so you can take a look at it and see how it goes. I did make this landscape material. It's for 5 layers. I have 5 layers of my landscape material to paint on the thing, but they are, yeah, it's not pro level. It's just so I can lay it out, build out the level, and then the level artist can go in and finish it, right? So this week I will be boxing out all of the buildings and placing the buildings, including the interiors, with all of the rooms and stairs and stuff like that, so that they could be serves as the guide for the artists to create the models, the static meshes for them. So lake homes along here. Sorry, yawn. I'll put the place for the roads, where this is the dirt road comes down here. Dirt road. This is all dirt roads in the actual area that exists in Boone, Michigan. And you mentioned it in your feedback, but yes, Lake Miwataka is a real place. Boone, Michigan is a real place. This is based on it. It's not quite exactly to scale, but like this little neighborhood, my Aunt Pat's house is right here, and then down here, off the map, is my Uncle Bob's house, where I spent quite a bit of time when I was growing up fishing. I've swam across this lake. There's like a state park over here, and this forest continues all the way around this side. And yeah, I decided to do this because he passed away in January, and I don't know. I wanted to make this area. It's kind of like consuming me. But anywho, so yes, the cemetery here. I mean, he's buried right about there. Anyway, so with my aunt and my cousin Norman. So this scale is much better. Like the base will actually be a manageable size here. The buildings, the cars, and all that stuff as props. I might just import some marketplace assets to throw some crap around in here. But it doesn't take nearly as much time to traverse the area. Like I'm already now able to go into the marsh and gather whatever. And then around this way would be this building back here. And back there is another like storage building, that's surrounded by all the trees. So that's where the revisions are. By the end of the week, I should have the whole military base boxed in, buildings inside and out. The character will be able to run in, explore the buildings, go up on the second stories of some of them, check them out. I'll probably start boxing in some of the lake homes, but this is the area I wanted to concentrate on, was this military base area, and this is actually going to be a level in the prototype I've been working on, the same thing that the AI is for, and the spawn system I want to make is for. So like when the character enters this area, they can trigger an event, and then the bad guys will come pouring out of the buildings, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to update you on where I'm at with my revisions, and hopefully all this stuff's okay. And my plan to just build the level and the flow and demonstrate where the buildings are, their layout, floor plans, stuff like that, and to show flow through the level is enough for this project. Like, I do plan on posting this on my Behance page as a a project, but yeah, my goals are different than a lot of the other people that take these classes. I mean, I've already hired myself, um, and I plan on either learning how to model and build the assets myself, or buy the assets and use them, or freelance somebody to make my assets for the game, or add somebody to the team, something like that. But I'm not using my degree to go work for Activision or something like that. Like, I want to create my own stuff. I'm an older guy. I don't need to generate, get a job. I have a job. So this is a purely passion project. I'd love to change careers as part of this whole thing. That's why I went back to school in the first place. Um, but yeah, my plans are a little different than being an entry level guy. Like, I want to do more. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'll start boxing in the buildings. Next week's uh, video will be much different. I'll be actually the player will spawn here near the gate, and I'll go ahead and run through this level, this area, like it's a game level, and demonstrate the play and how the player is led to the different places. I'll probably add the bounding boxes so they can't run through the trees and stuff like that. Like, truly make it a playable area. So, all right. Thank you very much.